You to a local little genius named Cash Quest. She's 2, going on 3, with the IQ of 146. The average IQ in the United States is about 100. Cash was recently accepted into Mensa, the largest and oldest high IQ society in the world, making her the youngest in American Mensa.
What's this one? Asia. What's this? Europe. What's this?
Cash Quest is definitely not your average toddler.
Tell me the 3 branches of government first. Hey.
We started to notice her memory was really great, and she just picked up things really fast, and she was really interested in learning.
What's this?
Why?
What's this?
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Seeing Beyond the Through with Monty. The toddler in which they are referring to is this bright, bubbly, cute 2-year-old here, Nash Quest. Now, I have never heard of Nash Quest until the media hype surrounding her being accepted into Mensa as the youngest member, with an IQ of 146. Now, here's the problem with this, and this is very problematic. But before we go on, meet the smartest toddler in the U.S. who has been accepted as the youngest member of Mensa with an IQ of 146. Meet the Los Angeles toddler who is the youngest member of American Mensa with an IQ 146. Okay, and here are the parents right here. Now, what I'm going to say is not an indictment against a child. I would never speak against a child. So this has pretty much nothing to do with the child's behavior, because this baby is innocent. However, I do believe that there is some exploitation there by the parents. And I do believe that there can be a lot of trouble down the line for all involved. And the reason why I say that is because, number one, this child did not ask to join Mensa. This child did not ask to be put on display like some type of a freak. This child did not ask for the media. No, this is all what the parents doing, and what they're going to have to be very careful with. I have seen children like this grow up to be very spoiled, very brighty, very titled, very privileged, with this whole notion that they are special, when in fact they're no more special than other children. But that speciality is imparted into them by the parents. So what we can have is that parents possibly teaching a very narcissistic behavior that can manifest itself later on, with this whole notion, again, that I'm special and set apart. You know, if the parents want to do their child a favor, they need to teach them that you're not special. You're like any other child, and you don't deserve special privileges. But here's the problem. Parents are not going to do that. They're not going to do that, because a lot of times what these parents are doing, this exploitation, is that they're getting all the attention of which they never received. A lot of it has to do with her joining Mensa, the news media, being put on display, is for the parents' own ego. That's for their own gratification. And there might be some monetary gain involved. I'm pretty sure that at that young age now, the child can get an agent. And the child most likely will become famous the world over. But not anything that the child really wants. It's just that the child wants to please their parents. Now, let me just tell you one thing about Mensa and children that a lot of you may not know. How they determine if someone is very smart. You know, what they do is that it's comparative to their own age group. Because people were wondering about that. How do you determine if a child is smart? Well, basically, they're comparing her to other children within her own age group. And at that particular age, a lot of it has to do with memories, how well they can remember. So that's pretty much how it's done. It has nothing to do with critical thinking skills, which, of course, a 2-year-old is not going to have. Critical thinking skills, even a 10-year-old probably would not even have that. But you're going to have to be very careful when you start teaching your children that they are special, extraordinary, wonderful, accomplished. All of these superlatives, which is heaped upon them, can be very damaging. Just the way that negativity heaped upon a child, you're no good, you're bad, you're rotten, you're nasty, that can be damaging. Just the opposite of that can be also. And that is the reason why so many child actors are messed up. Because at a young age, they get all of these accolades, all these compliments, which are not true. There's nothing special really about them, but there is something special about their ability and their gift, which to some degree is separate from them. I want to show you some compliments. Some critique or comments that people have made. That kind of stood out to me. One of them says, please allow her to enjoy her childhood regardless of her IQ. Being highly intelligent can be a curse on children. Let her play and enjoy life. Don't overcook her brain. I agree with that. And I want to show you another one. Thanks for this comment, people. Thanks for this comment. People are treating their kids like freaking circus monkeys. Almost any child could learn the same exact thing if they spent hours learning. Not saying children don't have natural good memory, but parents who push their children to learn stuff that they don't need to learn and SHIT are just ridiculous. And in my opinion, very bad parents. Let this little girl naturally discover her true potential by doing normal everyday activities instead of teaching her tricks like a dog. Every kid is curious. Every kid wants to please their parents and will make them proud. It's dangerous to make kids believe that their value is just an IQ number. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. Remember when this corner states that making them do tricks like a dog? I don't like that word really applied to a child here, or any child. But let's just say making them do tricks or putting them on display. I want to show you something.
Iridium, sodium, lithium, copper, phosphorus, neon, cadmium, argon, and beryllium, silicon, zinc.
Now, if that's not teaching a child tricks or putting them on display or exploiting them for the media, for the world to see, I don't know what is. And let me just tell you the danger in which these parents could have brought upon themselves. Now, all of a sudden, they are thrust in the spotlight. They're under the media glare. They're going to have a lot of criticism and a lot of praise. But they're going to have some fame now, in which they probably were not accustomed to at first. Because they chose to, in my opinion, exploitate their daughter. So here's the bad part. A marriage can get stronger or it can get weaker. To some degree, you can say that when the spotlight is on you, you are marked. Will their marriage be strong enough now? Is it really worth putting your child out there like that? If I had a gifted child, they would not be in Mensa. I'm just speaking for me. Everyone's different. There would be no media glare. I don't see a need for that. I don't see a need for world fame based upon that. And I surely would not be displaying them, remembering for the cameras. It's no one's business, in my opinion. It stays between the home and the school or the learning center. So you really have to wonder, what are the parents' motive in doing this? Is it for them or for their child? A child doesn't need that. I don't think it's in the best interest of the child, per se. Because from what I understand, the parents are pretty much well-to-do. Now, well-to-do can mean a lot of things. It doesn't mean that it's rich. But no child asked to be in Mensa. No child has asked for these cameras to be thrust in their faces or to be doing all these remembering things in front of the camera. What a child needs is love, proper upbringing, affection, which I'm sure the parents are giving. And they need to be told that they are no different or better than other children. They need to be installed that there's no need for you to be different or better than other children. That you're just the same as other children. That will create a more balanced child in the future who is not prone to a sense of entitlement and a sense of like they are better than others. So that's what the parents have to be very careful about. So this could be a blessing or it could be a curse. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is another edition of Seeing Beyond and Through with Monty. And I will see you all beyond and through.